Hi everybody, it's Brooke Harris from theopenbox.com, one half of the leadership team where our vision is to make wholeness more accessible. Today I want to talk to you about 4 quick tips on using social media. Tip number 1. Be very careful about how you voice just how pissed off you are about various things in your life. I know I've seen this a lot on social media where people voice just how upset or angry they are at a certain person in their life. And I've seen it about other things too, things on TV, media type of things, celebrities, stuff like that. But it always strikes me when people talk about the people that they know and they're voicing a pissed offness about it, whether someone did them wrong and they've learned and it will never happen again, or someone made a comment, they will never, interact with that person like that again, but they never call that person out. Now, I don't think they should necessarily call the person out, but just be very careful about how you voice it, because while you can get a lot of likes and you can get some comment feedback, it can be very passive aggressive, and a lot of times when we're passive aggressive, that is not demonstrating healthy relationship behaviors. And so there are more healthier ways to interact with people, whether it's talking to them directly or journaling privately. Keep that in mind. Tip number 2, be very careful about how you're posting pictures of your free time. I know a lot of us are posting pictures of vacations and networking and hanging out with our friends and everything, but there are some pictures that I've seen where people are posting pictures where maybe they don't have a lot of clothes on, or maybe they have all their clothes on and they're smoking marijuana, or getting drunk off and they're on the side of the road or something. Just be very mindful of that, because even though you want to be who you are and show your life, it does create a certain image, and honestly, people judge. And not that you should care, but let's be real, a lot of times we do care, and you don't want some of your pictures to prevent you from getting that job you want, or prevent you from getting that person that you want to connect with in a love relationship. So be very mindful of that, because you never know how it's being perceived, and you don't want those type of pictures to be the only thing that a person thinks of when they're thinking about who you are. Tip number 3, and I'm reading my phone. Okay. Tip number 3, be very careful about voicing just how pissed off you are. That's my word, pissed off. You are about your job. Now, I already talked about it in terms of your life and relationships, but be very careful about your job, because people can read that stuff, and you never know. You might be very buddy-buddy with a coworker of yours, and you never know if they share that with someone else. Oh, they were talking about our manager, on Facebook or something like that. You just don't know how these things will be used. You don't know how prospective employers are looking at your profiles and your comments and statuses. You just don't know. And granted, there are privacy settings, but sometimes friends of friends can see things, and so you have to be very careful in terms of thinking about your future. And I know a lot of times people just want to just be in the moment and put what they feel in the moment, and I do think there's some merit to that of doing what you feel is right in the moment, but you just have to be very mindful about how you're sharing those things so that it won't impact you in negative ways. And finally, tip number 4, be yourself. And I know after all those tips I'm saying, be yourself, and you're like, that might conflict with what you just said. But no, I think at any given time we should be very aware of how we're being our best self, being our highest self, being our real self. And so sometimes you might complain. But if your life is filled with complaints and all your statuses are complaints, then is that really who you are? And if that is, then maybe that's something to look into and explore a little more. But we aren't just the complaints and the voicing the pissed offness. We aren't just the pictures of our vacations. We're more than that. So be very mindful and very purposeful about sharing who you are, how thoughtful you are, how the inspiration as well as rage. Have the spectrum so that your true self can shine, and so that when someone looks at your profile on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, or even Instagram, that they are getting a fuller picture of you and not just one little category, and having people believe that that is just all of who you are. I think social media can be a really great tool for us to use to connect with others, to show our creativity and the different things that we're working on in our lives. So let's use it wisely and let's just have fun with it, but just be cautious as well. I hope these tips were helpful. If you have any more tips, please do share. I can be reached at Land of Brooke on Twitter. Also, you can comment on theopenbox.com. Thanks, and see you next time.